Hello everyone, we've got a 6-mark question here, kind of coordinate geometry kind of question about a kite. They love these kind of questions on IGCSE, and in my experience, students don't like them so much. So what have we got? It says ABCD is a kite where AB equals AD and CB equals DC. So that's fine. So they're telling us that. The point B has the coordinates K1. And where K is a negative constant, okay, that's fine. So K is a negative constant. And the point B has coordinates 8, 7. The straight line L passes through the point BD, and the straight line L is parallel to a line that has the equation 5y minus 3x equals 6. Find an equation of AC. Okay, so I've drawn just like a kind of generic rough sketch here of what might be happening. So I've just drawn a rough sketch of a kite. Okay, now I've just put on there the point D, which is 8, 7. And I've got my point B over here, which I've called K1. Now I've realized that they tell us that K is a negative constant. So if K is minus something, then in fact, my diagram's not the best in the world. But it doesn't matter that my diagram's like this because it'll all sort of like come out in the wash with the algebra. So the fact that my diagram's got the K over here is not going to be particularly a problem. So there's a rough sketch of a kite like that. And let's think about how on earth are we going to tackle this? Well, one of the unique properties of a kite is that the diagonals intersect at 90 degrees. And that's a property that is not very commonly remembered. Okay, so that's 90 degrees. The diagonals are perpendicular to each other. And they've gone to the length of telling us that this line L is parallel. So this line here going through BD is parallel to this line up here. Okay, I've just drawn a generic line. So if we rearrange the equation given to find the gradient of this line, then that's going to give us the gradient of this line. So let's do that first. So they said that in the equation, it is 5y minus 3x equals 6. So I've added the 3x over to the other side and divided by 5, giving me y equals 3 over 5x, add 6 over 5. So therefore, the gradient of this line is 3 over 5. Now that means that the gradient of our line that we want, AC, because the whole point of the question is to find the equation of AC, we can say that AC must have a gradient that is negative the reciprocal of this gradient. So if this one is 3/5, it must be minus 5 over 3. Okay, using the property m1, m2 equals minus 1. So we've now got the gradient of the point AC. Well, that's good. So now what we would like to do is we've got to try and find out what on earth K is, okay? Because we're going to need that to know what K is. Well, we've got the gradient of the line BD and we've got a point on the line BD. So we can now find the equation of this line here, L. So let's do that. So we start off by writing down y equals mx plus c. We sub in the point, which has a y coordinate of 7 and an x coordinate of 8. We sub in the gradient, which we know is 3/5. And that is going to enable us to work out c. Okay, so that gives us 7 is equal to 24 over 5 at c. And then we take away the 24 over 5, and that gives us that c is 11 over 5. So we've now got the equation of the line BD. So that is the equation of the line BD. So now that we've got the equation of the line BD, all we need to do now is just literally sub in the point K1 into that equation in order to find out what the value of K is going to be. So let's sub in into the equation of our line, the coordinate that we've got. So I've subbed in the fact that y is equal to 1, okay? And I've left it as x here, but I could have written that as k. Arguably, it might have been a bit more easier to understand if I wrote that as k. So let me just change that to k. Because all we're doing here is subbing in the point K1. Okay, so let's write that as k there, just to make it clearer. So yes, we've subbed in the coordinate of the point B, which is x is k and y is 1. So x is k and y is 1 into the equation of the line that we've just found. So that gives us 1 is equal to 3/5 k plus 11 over 5. So we take away 1, take away 11 over 5 is minus 6 over 5, and that is 3/5 k. So then we divide by the 3/5, so k is equal to minus 6 over 5 divided by 3 over 5. And that gives us that k is equal to minus 2, which is perfect because we know that k is a negative value. So we've now found that k is minus 2. I know my sketch doesn't reflect this adequately, but my sketch is still perfectly valid for the calculations that we're doing. So now we've just got to find the equation of the line AC. And in order to find the equation of the line AC, we need two things. We need a point on the line, and we need a gradient. We've already got the gradient of AC. We know it's minus 5 over 3, so we just need a point on the line. And the point on the line is going to be given by the midpoint of BD. So I'm just adding together the two x coordinates down here of B and D, adding together the two y coordinates of B and D, and that gives me that the midpoint is 3, 4. So I'm now going to sub in the point 3, 4 and the gradient minus 5 over 3 into y equals mx plus c to get the equation of AC, which is what we're after. So we write down y equals mx plus c. The y coordinate is 4 of the point on the line. The gradient is minus 5 over 3. The x coordinate is 3. So that gives us 4 equals minus 5 add c. So 9 is equal to c. So therefore the equation of the line is y is equal to minus 5 over 3x add 9. And then we've just got to times everything by 3. So we get 3y equals minus 5x add 27. And the question asks us to give the answer in the form px add qy equals r. So I've added that minus 5x over to the left-hand side. So we actually have, in fact, to write it in the correct form, we should say we have 5x plus 3y equals 27. And that is our final answer. 5x add 3y equals 27. And that is the answer to that question 23. In my experience, quite a tricky question, quite a tricky kind of coordinate geometry question. I hope you found that helpful, and I will see you in the next video.